Rosa María de la Cruz and Fernández woke up at 4:47 a.m., same as every morning for the last 45 years. The radiator in her super's basement apartment hissed like an angry cat. She slipped her swollen feet into the same black orthopedic sneakers she'd worn since Obama's first term, pulled the navy blue work jacket with Riverside Gardens superintendent stitched over the heart, and climbed the back stairs to start another 14-hour day. At 69, Rosa still fixed every leaking faucet, plunged every clogged toilet, and hauled 40-pound bags of rock salt up 6 flights when the sidewalks iced over. The tenants loved her. The management company paid her $19.40 an hour and gave her the windowless 2-bedroom in the basement rent-free, which was the only reason her son Javier and his girlfriend Monique had a place to sleep, smoke weed, and scroll TikTok for the last 7 years. 7 years of, Mon ami, you got paid yet? 7 years of Monique calling her the help loud enough for the whole courtyard to hear. 7 years of Javier laughing, relax, ma, you're basically retired. This is easy money. Rosa never answered back. She just kept working.
October 14th started like any other Wednesday. She was on her knees in 4B, replacing a kitchen sink trap when the lobby intercom buzzed. Miss de la Cruz? A man's voice, crisp, expensive, Spanish-accented English. My name is Diego Ignacio de la Vega Alarcón. I am an attorney from Madrid. I must speak with Rosa María de la Cruz y Fernández. It is urgent and extremely private. Rosa wiped her hands on a rag. Tell them come to the super office, basement. 20 minutes later, 2 men in charcoal suits that cost more than Rosa made in a month stepped into the cramped office that smelled of bleach and old coffee. The older one carried a leather briefcase older than Javier. The younger one held a tablet and a very thick folder sealed with red wax. The older man spoke first. Señorita de la Cruz y Fernández, my firm has been searching for you for 14 months. You are the sole surviving heir of the house of Alarcón, the estate, properties in Madrid, Sevilla, and Manhattan, plus liquid assets, totals approximately $4.2 million after taxes. Rosa blinked. The pipe wrench slipped from her hand and clanged on the concrete floor. She had been 8 years old when her mother fled Franco's Spain with nothing but a suitcase and 2 daughters. They never spoke of the family left behind. Rosa had always assumed everyone was dead. The younger lawyer opened the folder and slid a photograph across the desk. A black and white portrait of a stern woman in 1940s mourning dress. The face was her own, 50 years younger.
That is Doña Isabel de Alarcón, your great-aunt. Childless. She died last year at age 98. The courts in Spain have confirmed your identity through birth records, baptismal certificate, and DNA we collected from the coffee cup you threw away last week. He allowed himself half a smile. We are very thorough. Rosa's legs gave out. She sat hard on the folding chair usually reserved for tenants complaining about heat. $4.2 million. She thought of the swollen knees, the $11,000 in her savings account, the way Monique had screamed at her last week because the Wi-Fi cut out for 6 minutes. How long, she asked quietly, before the money is mine? 45 days maximum, Diego said. We need only your signature and presence in Madrid for the final reading of the will. We will handle everything else. Rosa stared at the photograph of the woman who looked exactly like her. Then she looked at the cracked linoleum floor she had mopped herself for decades. 45 days, she repeated. She asked them to wait 5 minutes. She walked upstairs to apartment 1A, her own apartment, where Javier was still asleep on the couch, one arm flung over Monique, both of them snoring under a blanket that smelled of weed and pizza grease. She stood in the doorway and studied her only child. 34 years old, no high school diploma, no job ever lasting more than 3 weeks. A mouth that had called her stupid old lady more times than she could count. She closed the door softly and went back downstairs.
"Gentlemen," she said in perfect English for the first time in the conversation, "there is something you need to see before I sign anything." She opened the safe bolted under her desk, an ancient fire safe the size of a mini-fridge, and took out a yellowed envelope she had kept for 34 years. Inside was Javier's original birth certificate, the one she had never filed with New York State. The space marked father blank. She had listed herself as Rosa María de la Cruz only, no y Fernández, because at 19 she was terrified that listing the aristocratic surname would bring questions, or worse, the family in Spain hunting for the runaway daughters. Javier had been born Javier Cruz. Legally, he had no claim to the Alarcón bloodline at all. Diego read the document twice. His eyebrows went up. The younger lawyer actually whistled. "So your son," Diego began. "Is my son," Rosa finished. "But not an heir. Never was." She looked straight into the older man's eyes. "If I accept this inheritance, it is mine alone. No one else can touch it, ever. You guarantee me that?" "Spanish noble succession is absolute," Diego said. "The will names you by full legal name, bloodline, and DNA. No court in the world can break it."
Rosa took the Mont Blanc pen he offered her and signed every document without hesitation. When they asked for a recent photo for the Spanish passport, she handed them one taken last month. Her in the navy work jacket, hair in a bun, standing proud next to the building's new boiler she had installed herself. 45 days later, the money hit her new account on a snowy Tuesday in December. That same afternoon, a process server in a puffy jacket knocked on the door of 1A. Javier opened it wearing nothing but boxers and a scowl. "Who the hell?" "You've been served," the man said cheerfully, and left a blue-backed legal document on the threshold. Inside, 30-day notice to quit. Premises sold. New owner takes possession January 15th. Javier read it 3 times. Monique read it over his shoulder and started screaming. They stormed downstairs to the super office. Rosa was packing the last of her tools into a brand new red toolbox. The walls were bare. Her nameplate was already gone. "Mommy, what is this?" Javier waved the eviction notice like a white flag. "You sold the building? Where are we supposed to go?" Rosa zipped the toolbox. "You have 30 days, same as any tenant." Monique found her voice. "This is our home. You can't just throw us out on the street." Rosa turned, calm and terrible. "I can and I am. The building sold for $2.8 million cash. Closing was yesterday." Javier's mouth opened and closed. 2.8. Where is you? Rosa reached into her pocket and took out a small velvet box. Inside was a gold signet ring with the Alarcón crest. She slid it onto her right hand. It fit perfectly. "In 1939, my mother fled Spain with 2 little girls and $20 sewn into her bra. She always told us never look back. I look back. Turns out the family never forgot us. Pay spent 14 months and God knows how much money making sure the last legitimate heir got what was hers."
She watched understanding crash over Javier's face like cold water. You're rich now?" His voice cracked. "Very," Rosa said. Monique tied sweet. "Mama Rosa, we family. You're not going to let us be homeless, right?" Rosa picked up the toolbox. "You're not homeless. You're unskilled, undisciplined, and about to be unemployed adults with a 30-day countdown. There's a difference." She walked to the door, then paused. "Oh, I almost forgot." She reached into her coat and pulled out 2 envelopes. She handed one to each of them. Inside Javier's, $5,000 cash and a printed Indeed job listing for maintenance apprentice. $22 an hour, benefits, union after 90 days. Inside Monique's, $5,000 cash and a one-way megabus ticket to her sister's address in Atlanta.
This is every cent you are ever going to get from me. The rest is in trusts, annuities, and a very nice apartment on the Upper West Side that has my name only on the deed." Javier fell to his knees on the concrete floor. "Mommy, please, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I'll change." Rosa looked down at the boy she had raised alone, the boy who had broken her heart daily for 7 years. "You already changed, mijo," she said softly. "You taught me exactly how much a mother will take before she stops being a mother and starts being a woman who deserves respect." She stepped over him. The last thing they heard was the click of her new boots on the stairs and the jingle of keys to a life they would never touch. Epilogue. 6 months later. Doña Rosa María de la Cruz y Fernández, now formally recognized as Doña Rosa de Alarcón in certain Madrid circles, stood on the terrace of her new pre-war apartment overlooking the Hudson. She wore a silk blouse the color of ripe cherries and the Alarcón signet ring that had waited 80 years to come home. Her phone buzzed. A text from a number she had not saved. "Mummy, I got the maintenance job. Just finished my first month. I'm proud of myself. Can we have coffee sometime? I'll pay." She smiled, typed one word, and pressed send. Earned. Then she slipped the phone into her pocket, picked up a glass of Rioja, and posted the skyline that had finally, after 69 hard years, noticed she was there. End.